National correspondent for the New York Times Magazine and a CBS News political contributor. He interviewed Hillary Clinton for this Sunday's magazine. He says the campaign is taking risk by being cautious. Good morning.
Hi, Charlie. Good to be here.
Before we get to Hillary Clinton, just Donald Trump, what are the implications of all this?
Well, it's a drumbeat. I mean, it's sort of competing drumbeats here. You had WikiLeaks, going, that the Trump campaign seems to be drumming up pretty seriously, and then you have this, which seems to be this drip, 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 drip. It's a problem, obviously, for the Trump campaign, and he seems to be in a very, take them all on phase.
Drill down.
Drill down. Yeah, absolutely. And we'll see where it goes.
And what do we see in terms from the emails of Hillary Clinton's cautiousness? And is that a surprise?
Not a surprise at all. But what I think is fascinating about the emails is you really see the sort of political maneuvering, the calculation, the kind of over-scriptedness, frankly, that we see in the candidates. So right. I think what's so effective about seeing these emails, if you're Donald Trump, and using them, is that it underscores that Hillary Clinton is a politician. We don't need more politicians. She's been part of the problem. I am not a politician. Therefore, look at this. This is someone who says one thing in private, does another thing in public.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, your article points out that she's sort of tired of selfies, as many famous people are. You think she's just over it?
Well, what was interesting is in our discussions, she actually pointed to the phenomenon of selfies as sort of a larger sociological issue. I mean, she used to talk about how these 7-8 second conversations she would have on rope lines with voters were very important. She could get people's stories. She could just have an exchange. Everything now in public is geared towards getting a selfie, and she thought that was
no connection.
No connection. It's just
whatsoever.
image. It's no connection.
So.
But you write in the piece that, in a sense, that her daring voters to study her positions, to listen to her answers and not look to her for entertainment or emotional support is risky.
It's risky in this day and age, which is just so stimuli-based, which is so emotional. And Donald Trump, has propelled himself in a big way just by dominating the oxygen of this election. At the same time, it has sort of cut the glare against Hillary Clinton in a way that she's probably somewhat comfortable with. But yeah, there's a risk to be boring in this day and age, and there's also a risk to be familiar and predictable and calculated, as we're seeing in these WikiLeaks emails, and I think that is itself a risk.
And that's what her husband is so good at.
What her husband
so good at the emotional aspect.
He was,
politics.
Yes, absolutely. I mean, now obviously he's not the candidate, and he's part of the campaign, but in a very peripheral way. But yes, no, her husband was just a great retail politician, had a great emotional connection. He was a great storyteller.
WikiLeaks is promising more releases up until Election Day. But what you've heard so far, is there anything that's been very damaging to her? It's not getting a lot of attention. But is there anything that you think, okay, this is trouble?
I think the cumulative effect, I think the drumbeat of it is, in fact, damaging. I think the public-private thing reinforces a lot of the worst images people have of her. So I think as long as that continues and these emails bolster that, it is problematic for her.
Do we know anything about how WikiLeaks is planning to release these things? What kind of plan they have and what they have? And
yeah, unclear. I mean, I think if you looked at the precedent of the last few days, I mean, it looks like there'll be a sort of steady, almost daily batch sort of dropped into onto the internet, and people can digest it day to day. And it sounds like the Trump campaign is very, very happy to use it, and Mr. Trump is very, very happy to emphasize.
And Trump campaign says they're coming after the New York Times. You all worried over there?
I haven't been over there yet this morning. I guess they just drafted the letter last night. You can talk to my colleagues who are going to be here later. But yeah, look, this isn't the first time. It won't be the last.
Thanks, Mark.
Thanks,
everyone.